Oh, y'all came over from Instagram and Telegram. Plus, some of you folks on here on YouTube. Yeah, I was told when I was told, I was actually told that my frequency was too much, and it was messing up the live. So it might not have been IG. It might have just been me and my own energy. Because when I'm vibrating high, honey, it messes up. Sitting near the Wi-Fi no more because I be tearing my own self up. It's crazy. You got the notification immediately? Telegram. Y'all always hear it first. Y'all always gonna be the first ones to know. I'm confirming your dreams. My goodness. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Y'all in here? Yes, I'm still growing it. Y'all don't need to see my hair right now. You know I got initiated. My hair has to be covered for at least a year. So y'all gonna see it when you're supposed to see it. I did let it be seen one day on Instagram Live. If you go look at the last Instagram Live I did 2 weeks ago, you'll see how much my hair has grew back. It's like it never left. It's like I never even got my hair cut. Yeah, let's get these likes up, guys. At Samuel, I am suing. Go to shopisiswisdom.com and go to AI removal services, and you'll see what I got for that. Okay. I confirmed the download you had last night. Okay, so let me get back to talking about this because I got to get this out. Um, I wasn't even going to do a live about it right now, and there's still some parts to it. So the title of this live is "We Live in Atlantis?" And first thing I want to do is I want to put a disclaimer out. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay. Um, but let me. This live is going to be about me and my experiences and what I've experienced via my meditations and things like that. So let me start off here. As I was telling you guys on Instagram, what happened was I got a hit because I was thinking about for some reason the conversation I had with Tahuti, one of my channeling sessions I did with Tahuti, that flashed back at me for some reason. I don't know why. And I remember asking Tahuti, was Atlantis really destroyed? And he said that a sector of Atlantis was destroyed. Now, at the time when he said that, I wasn't present when he said that. I wasn't present. This is the reason why I stressed the importance of being present at all times. Whenever you're speaking to people, whatever it is that you're doing, it's important that you must be present because you'll miss some things that are right there in your face. So it didn't even hit me when he said a sector of Atlantis was destroyed. It didn't hit me. It didn't click. I don't know why it didn't click, but it didn't. Okay. And so that conversation came back up to me yesterday. And when it came back around, for some reason, it just hit different. You know how you read something or you hear something and you process it one way, and then later on it comes back around to you again, and you have a total different perspective, or maybe you were receptive to hearing. That's the thing about being in this space when you're doing lectures and you're doing these lives and you're getting downloads and things like that. How you may process or perceive something one way at the time, you won't process it or see it that way later on. Why? Because there may have been some revelation that came to you. You may have gone through some more healing. And so your perspective has widened up even more. And this is the reason why I say that the healing is very important. Because if you don't heal, you can have a skewed perspective about things, okay, if you're not healed. All right, but getting back to this. So as I'm sitting back, reflecting back on that conversation, I literally jumped up out of my damn bed tripping. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I said, he did tell me that was a sector of Atlantis. And I was like, oh my God. Next thing you know, my pineal gland started hurting, my head started hurting, so I knew then something was up. I knew right then and there, okay, here comes the downloads. That's usually how it comes for me. It's the downloads that start coming. Once the pineal gland starts going off, here comes the downloads, okay? So what ended up happening was I went straight to source. And I know some of you guys said that Rashad Jamal had talked about this, but see, I never saw his live and I didn't know he had talked about that. So I'd never seen his live before, okay? I still haven't seen his live, all right? Because I know some of you guys said that he had brought that up. So I went to go talk to Source, and I was like, Source, are we living on the realm of Atlantis right now? Like that, right? That's how I was looking. That was my face. I was like, and she was like, yes. I was like, oh my God. Like I had to sit down for a minute. I had to hold my head for a minute because my head started hurting. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. That's when all the communication just started hitting me like crazy. All the communication. So I was like, okay, so if this is Atlantis, and that's like I said on the live, I started running outside because where I live at, my bay windows, you see nothing but the ocean. Palm trees and all types of beautiful forestry and stuff like that, but you also see the ocean. So I'm looking outside. Then I go and I pull out the maps, and I'm looking at the maps. I said, oh my God, of course we're on the realm of Atlantis. It's 85% water. It's 85% water. So then where the hell did the name Earth come from? I want y'all to think about this for a minute, because I remember when I would mention things like that to different beings, I was always get this weird silence, and I never understood what that was about. Again, not being present, I didn't understand what that was about. So this place that they're calling Earth is incorrect, okay? Now, what they did was these folks that are pathological liars, and I'm talking about the ones that actually put something in place. And I want to be very clear about what I'm saying to you. You got to be careful when you're getting caught up in skin color. You got to be careful, because being in this space, you begin to start realizing that all types of beings can have the skin color of looking white. You can be a European. You could be a European, but a European is not the same thing as a Caucasian. Did you know that there's two different beings? Okay. Then you have the Jewish people. They're not the same thing as Caucasians, and they're not the same thing as Europeans. So let me just put this out there. Let me just put this disclaimer out there right now, because I know y'all are color struck. Okay. So I started really getting a deeper understanding that the Nernians, these are the people who definitely know who their father is, and their father is Satan. They are he is the father of lies. That means that their children are the children of lies. So when people ask me questions like, why they get the lying hot? Because that's what they do. You can't question a species about why they do the things that they do when this is who and what they are. Okay, that's just what it is. I want you to be clear when I speak about these individuals, because these are the individuals that assume the identities of other people that don't look like them, stolen the identities of other people that look like us, and claim themselves to be the individuals that are God's children. Okay? And I'm about to knock all that shit out the water on this live tonight. I'm about to knock it all out the water. Because number one, I want you to be clear about something. See, we've been indoctrinated, but Source really had to sit down and school me on some things, and I had to swallow that, just like everybody else has to swallow it, because I had to swallow it too. Okay? But basically, these Nernians invaded this particular density. We're in the third density. The Nernians came and invaded in the 3D realm. They came and invaded. The reptilians invaded. The Anunnaki invaded. There was a malevolent Arcturians, malevolent Palladians. Of course, then there's the Greys. Then there's the Alpha Draconians. Okay? Now, the reptilians were the ones who came and invaded because this was all aquatic. At one point in time, the first beings that were here were actually amphibious type beings. Okay, the amphibious type beings have been in here long before the reptilians even invaded this particular dimension. Okay. Now, what was explained to me is that there's 4 realms above Atlantis and then 4 realms below Atlantis, but do not look at this from a linear perspective. Kind of look at it from a family tree or the tree of life perspective. Imagine a big tree. See a big tree, and the tree branches out and it bears fruit. Those fruits are the realms. So you can't kind of look at it like straight up and down, like linear. Can't look at it like that. You kind of got to look at it like, okay, well, there's a realm here, there's a realm here, okay? There's a realm down here, over here, like down this way. Then there's another realm like up here. But it's not exactly linear, okay? It's kind of spread out like tree branches in a sense, okay? So as I'm coming to this understanding, because I was given the visual, as I was coming to this understanding, it was explained to me that there were 33 different, I knew there was 33 different realms, quote unquote. I was saying there's 33 different realms on Earth. Well, now I'm going to correct myself. There are 33 different realms in 33 different dimensions in all 9 realms. Okay? So we fell from the 33rd dimension all the way down to the 3rd. The 3rd dimension is very dense. This is the physical, the matter, okay? Physical, 3rd density. Anything lower than 3rd density is 2nd and 1st, you might as well call that hell. Because the 1st and 2nd dimensional beings, they have a one-track mind. The very one-track mind beings, they do not have the ability to elevate, okay? There are people and beings that have been casted to the 1st and 2nd dimension of Atlantis. There are many different hells, just like there are many different heavens. Okay? The heaven that we know about is called Orion. Orion is in Orion. That is one of the heavens, one of the many heavens that do exist, just like there are many different hells that exist. Okay? The angelic realm itself is also connected to Orion. That's the angelic realm. Okay? The ancestral realm, which is the first of the ancestral realm, which is actually supposed to be the very first realm of Orion, okay? The ancestral realm is a parallel Earth, okay? It is a higher vibrational Earth. They have cars. They have, I'm going to tell you who told me that. Nipsey Hussle told me that when I channeled him one day, okay? He actually told me that. So I remember when I was having a conversation with him, I asked him, I said, where are you? He said, we're in a parallel Earth because it looks just like this one. He said, but the difference is, he goes, it's much more lighter and it's much more elevated. I said, oh, okay. So he had told me that information. I thought that was very interesting. He also let it be known that rappers are still rapping over there. Now, they may not be as vulgar and as explicit as they were when they were here, but he said rappers are still making music over there. A lot of people are still doing the same things over there that we do here. I thought that was very interesting, okay? So nonetheless, as I began to start asking more questions, then I started talking to the angels, and I started asking them questions because I want to know more about the angelic realm. And they explained it to me in a way that's still hard for me to process, because basically what they're saying is that in order for you to get to the angelic realm, there are certain openings here in Atlantis that will allow you to go to the angelic realm. But the angelic realm is its own realm all by itself, like it's its own thing. And Orion is its own thing as well. But there are many different heavens. Mother and father have many different homes all throughout the galaxy. So there are many different heavens, okay? Now, it's taking me back to the time where there was a scripture that was said that Father was going to separate the waters. And that started playing back in my head again. And I was like, oh, snap. So the firmament that you guys see above this dimension, number one, let me just say this. The 3rd density is under quarantine. Let me start there. The 3rd density is under quarantine. And for obvious reasons why, you can clearly see why we're under quarantine. Look at the type of beings that are on this planet and look at the destruction that they're causing on this planet. So for obvious reasons, it's very clear why we're under quarantine. That firmament was put over place by the Galactic Federation and several other galactic councils that actually put that firmament up. The firmament itself is a glass. It's called monatomic glass. So when they were giving us, when we're saying the ice wall, the ice wall, the ice wall, okay, let me be clear about something about that. Because see, we watched a lot of movies, we watched a lot of TV. They gave us these images about this ice wall. So what happens when we repeat things enough times, you begin to start believing it, right? Because you're seeing it in the movies, you're seeing it here, you're seeing it there. Okay, it's not ice, it's glass. It is glass. And this is what they don't want us to know. They don't want us to really understand that we truly do have a firmament over us and we truly are sealed in this dimension. This is very real. Now, these other realms that we've been seeing are what we perceive to be planets. And the only way that you can get to these other realms is that you got to travel through water to get there. Now, when I did my ayahuasca experience and I was traveling to Atlantis, now let me be clear. We're on Atlantis, and at the time I didn't know we were at Atlantis, but I was traveling to Atlantis, but I went to another dimension of Atlantis. I went to the dimension where Thoth lives. That's where I went to, which of course is a higher dimension. It's a crystal city. It's a large, fam, I can't even begin to tell y'all, when you start talking about dimensions, this thing was humongous. I can't even begin to explain to you how beautiful it is there. The colors of green, because that's his color, the emerald. Beautiful emerald cities and different places and crystals and all kinds of quartz and diamonds and all kinds of, like, it's a crystal, it's just like a crystal city, fam. It's like a big city that's just completely with just crystals every damn where. That's the best way I can explain it. Okay. I got a chance to meet some family members there. Found out I had family there. That was kind of crazy. Okay. And so as Source was taking the time out to explain these things to me, I think that bothered me so much. I went on Telegram last night and I had to express it on Telegram. I literally said, hey guys, I got some stuff to tell you that's going to blow your damn wig back. And they always make their little comments because they know I'm about to drop some science on their ass, right? So I literally start typing stuff, and then I recorded an audio because I didn't feel like doing a live last night. I wasn't in the mood. But more downloads and more things are still coming to me about this. Okay. Now there's some text out there that you guys can read up about the Norse people. They gave a complete breakdown about what these realms are. Asgard is actually a realm. Okay, Asgard is one of the realms. Asgard, I believe, a little bit higher than Atlantis in terms of realms. Now, when I say higher, I'm just simply meaning when you look at it from a tree of life perspective or a tree branching out, I'm just saying on the tree, it just sits up a little bit higher. Okay, it doesn't mean that these realms are low and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm saying. The only thing that's low are the dimensions themselves in each one. So you got 33 dimensions in each realm. So we haven't even begun to travel or explore where we actually are. Further, Source also broke it down to me and told me that we actually live in a dome system, but don't think that this part is the dome part. The dome system actually encases all 9 realms. So Dr. Phil Valentine and myself talked about this on one of my lives last year. If you guys go on my YouTube channel, look at the live I did with Dr. Phil Valentine where we talk about the dome-to-dome systems. Okay, and we talked about that, and he broke it down. I was breaking some stuff down, and then he took it a step further on the dome systems. So if you guys want to look at that video, go check that video out I did with him. And actually, I'm going to reach back out to him to see if we can do another live to talk about some things. All right, so I can't even begin to imagine the size of this dome system. I can't imagine that. I don't even know I can't even use my imagination to begin to even imagine how big this thing would be. The impression I'm getting, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you, because we've been lied to so much. This dome system could possibly even be a ship. Okay? It could possibly even be a ship. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying there's a possibility that it possibly could be a ship. I'm not sure. I got to get clarity from Source on that. Okay? I got to get clarity from Source on that. Okay. The sun does live inside of this firmament. It's inside the firmament. The moon is inside the firmament. Okay. The moon is stationed at where we call, okay, let me be clear. They switched the compass around. So the north is your south and the south is your north. The east is your west and the west is your east. Bear with me here. Okay. So everything that you were taught, reverse it. Now, what they won't let you do on Google Maps when you try to reverse it is see it how it actually looks. They block you from seeing it. If you try to go Google Maps to see exactly where you are, they will not allow you to see it. But I just keep in mind what I said about how they reversed everything and how they turned the compass upside down. So what is perceived to be the North Pole isn't even the North Pole, it's the South Pole. Let me start there. The moon sits at the North Pole. Okay, I got some pictures of it that somebody had sent out, was sneaking out pictures of this damn thing. And it literally sits at the damn North Pole. And when the moon travels through the actual firmament, it's traveling through stargates. Just like when the sun travels throughout the sky, it travels through stargates. Some of us have had telescopes to be able to see when the stargate opens itself up and the sun is traveling through the damn stargate and going to another section of the realm or the dimension, if you will, okay, or the firmament. So these two things are traveling through stargates all throughout the day. That's number one. Number two, the firmament itself spins on its own. So imagine being stationary. You're stationary, but the actual firmament itself is the thing that's spinning slowly. It's spinning. Okay? Let's get the lights up, guys. There's way too many people in here for me not to have them damn lights up. Let me go ahead and drink this juice. Let me drink this coconut water. Let's go ahead and get the lights up. Okay, I'm just going to sit here. Okay, that's better. Continue to keep working to get the lives up, guys. I would appreciate it. Okay, so when I come back around to this later on, because I need to get all the information about all the realms and all that information, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a 2-hour live on that alone by itself. Okay. Right now, I just had to get it out my system to let you guys know this is where we're at. So that makes sense as to why 85% of our body is made up of water. It makes sense as to why the air is CO2, oxygenated what? Water. The air is water. Everything is water. So when the Creator said, I'm going to separate the waters, that's what the Creator was talking about, separating the waters because of the issues that was going on inside the different dimensions. There are all kinds of beings inside these different realms. Some of us are actual descendants of these beings in these different realms. Okay, this is how we're able to travel, but make sure you're clear. You will never get there unless you're going through water. So when they start talking about space, this is the reason why the Navy is so tight-lipped. When you start talking about Space Force and all that, it ain't got nothing to do with anything that's going on in the sky. It's got everything to do with everything that's going on in the water. So what they're showing you is images of things happening in the water. And the truth of the matter is, we really don't know how deep these oceans are. We know what we were told. We know what we were told. And I want you guys to remember that. The programming and the indoctrination is what put limitations on our thinking. Now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to work on deprogramming all the lies that you were told. Okay? All the lies that you were told. So you were told a whole lot of lies. You were told a whole lot of lies about this place. I will no longer refer to this place as Earth ever again. And if you're smart, you won't defer to it either. I want you to be clear who taught us. Who taught us how to speak their language? What language is it that we're speaking? What is the highest? What is the most satanic language in the world? It is English. So we learn how to speak satanic language. We learn how to speak. We learn how to learn the ideologies of the offspring of Satan. We have lusted off of the children of Satan's wealth and riches in the whole nine. We've taken on the diet of the children of Satan. Okay? So what they did was they tried to come in and they tried to assimilate us. Now, some of us really are assimilated. But what's happening is some of us have DNA and DEA in us that activates within us. All we have to do is just tap in. And the moment that we tap in, this is when everything begins to start activating. All you have to do is start asking a lot of questions. We grew up in a dimension, in a place where people do not know how to think for themselves. And that is the main reason why humanity has been under this entire time. Because we do not know how to think for ourselves. We are always looking for somebody outside of us to think for us. This is the reason why when you guys ask me questions about certain things, I throw the question right back at you and I say, well, what do you think? Because I don't want to be the person that you come to think for you. I want to be the person that you come to guide you. And guide you doesn't mean give you all the answers. Okay? Now, let's talk about this so-called mothership that's sending out things. Let me tell y'all what this is, y'all. This ain't nothing but Blue Beam. This ain't nothing but Project Blue Beam. Also, the Animus is playing a role in this as well. The ET Greys are playing a major role in this. The Malevolent Palladians are also playing a role in this. I want you to be clear. The Anunnaki themselves, about, I want to say back in November, I had gotten a hit that they're back now to their neutral state. Okay, they're back to a neutral state. I know exactly how that happened, but I can't speak on that as far as how that happened, but they have returned back to a neutral state. And I did get this communication verified by Anu himself. Okay? Now, so things are actually going to be a lot different in terms of the role that the Anunnaki is going to play in this. At one point in time, the Anunnaki were extremely malevolent. All of them were extremely malevolent. There were some that weren't as malevolent, but for the majority, they're dark energy beings, and a lot of them were malevolent. Now they're back to being in their neutral state. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see the role that they're going to be playing while all these things play out. Okay? It's going to be very, very interesting. And that actually, the powers that be took a hit when the Anunnaki went back to being in a neutral state. A lot of their forces got diminished when that happened. Okay, so what they've been doing is they've been utilizing CERN to open up portals for more malevolent entities to come in because we're in this Armageddon war. These malevolent entities are working with the Animus. I want you to be clear. They are working with the Animus. The ET alien Greys are also working with the Animus because they don't have bodies that can sustain themselves, and they're also looking to take over. I've literally seen situations of people coming to me right now, even as we speak, that has tons of alien Greys in their home. The alien Greys have been putting implants inside their body so bad to the point to where it shuts down their sensories. They're not able to think. They're not able to do pretty much anything. They've been completely shut down. Sometimes people's aspects, meaning different reincarnated versions of themselves, have also went out here and did contracts with these Draconians or these Greys or this Animus, and the person is literally turning into AI right before my eyes. Okay, so those are the types of things that come to me on a regular basis in terms of clients and things like that. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that people come to me for that I got to assist people with. So when you're in this space, you do a lot of training, you do a lot of learning. I speak about these things because I want you guys to be tapped in, because this is the direction that we're going. We're in the age of Aquarius. So in the age of Aquarius, this is when everything becomes unveiled. Now, I will let you know, remember what I said in the 2023 predictions. What did I say? I said, the veil is going to come down and we are going to see something in the great apocalypse, which simply means great revealing. Well, let me tell you what you're going to see. You're going to see the new realms. Remember, I said that in 2023 predictions. I said what? You're going to see new lands popping up out of nowhere, and you're going to see realms popping up out of nowhere. What did I show you in my Animus trailer? Go back and look at my Animus trailer that's here on YouTube. Watch the Animus trailer, and you'll see 6 different what we perceive to be planets, but they're actually realms traveling in the water. Okay? Because remember, the firmament is made out of what? Monatomic glass. There's water outside the monatomic glass. Okay? So we're sitting underwater. So when you look at how those planets are moving, if you think about it, the way these planets have been moving, they've been moving like they're operating in bodies of water. Think about what I'm saying. Reflect back on some stuff now. The way they would show things moving. They're moving like they're in bodies of water. So the firmament has water outside of it. The firmament is glass. So what is reflecting on the firmament? The ocean, which is what? Blue or green, which is reflecting what? Off the glass. It's reflection. The water and the glass are reflecting off of one another. This is the reason why when you sit at the ocean and you see the skies gray, what do the waters look like? Gray. Let's get those likes up. Woo! I got some people on. I got some folks on this live tonight, honey. Okay, let me just talk to you about these clouds. First of all, y'all want to hear something funny? We're the only realm that has clouds, fam. Like nobody else has clouds. I would say dimension that has clouds. You go to other places, they do not have clouds. Do not get caught up in the images that NASA shows you. All that shit is a lie. Everything is a lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. It's a straight lie. As a matter of fact, don't even talk to me about what these people are talking about because I'm going to laugh in your face. Do not talk to me about it. It's very clear to me now, the wool that's been pulled over our eyes. So do not talk to me about anything related to NASA and what they're reporting and what they're saying and all that. Let's just let that out. Let's just let it go. Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the information. I'm going to go into meditation. I'm going to see what's really good and give you guys real information. I guarantee you it ain't going to be nothing that these fools are talking about out here. This is one big propaganda machine. The Matrix itself is a propaganda machine. When this Matrix was first created, it was specifically designed for those who are operating under karma to grow and learn their lessons out of it so they can ascend and elevate past where they were. But what happened was when the reptilians came, I want you guys to understand, these reptilians and these grays are extremely technologically advanced. They came in, they placed the virus inside the Matrix and had the Matrix turn against humanity. That's what happened. So the original intention, when they actually created this actual dimension, which is third density, the intention was for us to come in and have an experience in the physical realm to learn so we can elevate to other levels. So when we left these physical bodies, we could continue to keep moving forward and ascend back to the 33rd dimension. Okay? That's what we were supposed to do. Unfortunately, when those grays came in and those reptilians came in, and be clear, the reptilians are also very technologically advanced. Okay? They're very technologically advanced. So I want you to be clear about that. These are Lucifer's children. Lucifer, the goddess. Okay? Lucifer is not a fallen angel. Satan is let me correct my words. I'm not supposed to say fallen angel. Let me correct my words. Malevolent angel. Malevolent. Okay? Satan is a malevolent angel. Lucifer is a malevolent goddess. And she's the 99th goddess at that, out of the 99 Lunakai that were created. She's the 99th one. The very last one that was created as a Lunakai. Okay? Now, let me get ahead and dispel some more myths for y'all. I'm going to just blow this shit out the water tonight. Go ahead and pick your wig up off the floor because you're going to be no more good. Lucifer's children are reptilians, but there was a time of day when Lucifer was not always like she was. There was a time of day where she wasn't always like that. There was a time of day where she actually was more benevolent. Now, it is true that she was given the role of the light bearer. This is true. Okay? But I want you to be clear and don't ever get confused. When you're out here and you're dealing in these realms, light, we call it false light, can also be deceptive. People also have the ability to use their light to deceive you. Let me explain. Let me give an example. Oh, they're very genuine. They seem like they're down with you. They seem very supportive of you. That's the light. But on the other hand, there's another side to them that you don't see. Okay? So some people are actually very skilled at using their light to deceive you. So you have to have spiritual out. You have to be able to spiritually discern. One of the main reasons why people have an issue discerning properly is because, number one, they don't know the importance of what it means to ground. I've heard comments of people saying, oh, if you ground too much, then you'll never elevate. First of all, that is incorrect information. That is not correct. You have to understand where you live at. You have a physical body, right? You have a physical body. You live on Atlantis. You live on this dome system called Kai. Okay? You have the goddess of Kai that goes by the name of Gaia. She is a goddess. Okay? I want you guys to understand that when these beings communicate to you, sometimes they'll communicate to you through symbolism, and you have to decipher the symbolism and what it means. Some things are not meant for you to take literal. We were deceived through religion to do that. And I would even go as far as to say that they may not have been able to interpret things properly, so they may have just made some things up. Or they may have had some beings that communicated what it was, and they decided to hide the information from humanity so we wouldn't know. Be clear. First of all, don't ever tell anybody that you're not a human, because humans are extraterrestrials and the most powerful extraterrestrials in the cosmos. Be clear about that. If you are here and you're in this realm, you are the ET race that we know to be humans. Just like you got Draconians and you got Anunnaki and you got all these other ones, you are human. Because I asked Source about that. I said, so what are we, human? She just said it just plain as day, human. I was like, okay, so that is what we are, absolutely. Our bodies are experiments. Our bodies are experiments that hold all of our different aspects. Some of us are multi-universal and some of us are omni-universal. Okay, depending on who and what we are. Okay, so can you imagine even a multiverse of aspects? That means many different versions of you from each star system, but it's still you that is attached to you. That's what I mean when I say experiment. We're walking, living libraries and always have been for quite some time. There are doctors out here that work for mental health facilities that know about this. And it puts a whole different spin when you start looking at what we call, quote unquote, mental health. I'm not going to go too deep into that. I'll go to rumble.com or go to Telegram and really drop the science about that, because I don't need no folks running up on me, them people running up on me saying I'm saying certain things on YouTube. So I'm not going to say what I really want to say on YouTube, but I just put it to you like this. When you start learning about these aspects, you start seeing things from a whole different perspective. A whole different perspective. There were people whose aspects that were actually sealed off, and me and a group of team members went and unsealed some of these aspects that belonged to somebody else, that was somebody else, and I watched this person's mental health literally improve dramatically behind that. The reason why they wasn't correct was because one of their aspects was sealed off. Imagine that. Hey, I need you to cut the light on for me, please. So it gives a whole different perspective about what we were told. So they came up with all these different things, okay? They came up with, turn this light on right here. This one right here, and then cut this one off. Turn this one right above, right here. Right here, baby. The next one. That one. There. Thank you. Okay. So y'all sitting up there like, what? Listen, I just did a reading for someone on Instagram on the back, and he was telling me some of the things that was going on with him, right? Bro, I go and check his stuff. Come to find out, this dude was a ruthless cat in a past life. Okay? His girlfriend is a Venusian goddess. His past life aspect had disrespected her in a very deep way. That aspect of hers, who was a Venusian goddess, was whipping his ass. I literally told him, I said, well, you got witchcraft going on. But I said, let me check in this some more. I go investigate. It's a damn girl's aspect. Shit got so deep, Aphrodite showed up in the reading. Because Aphrodite is Venus. Aphrodite shows up in the reading. And I'm like, her mother's here. And I was like, you're in trouble right now. You know, and I had to let him know, bro, you in spiritual jail right now. He said, oh my God, that makes so much sense as to why these things were happening to me. Remember what I said in the 2023 predictions? What did I say? A lot of people are going to be placed under spiritual jail because of things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. And this means your aspects too. So your aspects is still you. You don't get to deny and say, well, I didn't know about that. It doesn't matter. You are you. That's how the cosmos, that's the game the cosmos play. They don't play them type of games. You try to separate from what your aspects doing. They don't play them type of games. They don't play them type of games. It doesn't matter. You are you, and you did that. But I wasn't even aware I did it. Yeah, well, you did it anyway. Can you imagine being responsible for your aspect, another version of yourself, out here doing crazy shit, messing shit up, and you're the one getting in trouble for it because you didn't even know anything about this shit? Okay, so I just had to break that down. There's not many people that's out here talking about aspects the way I talk about aspects and drop the science the way I drop the science. Y'all are just now starting to catch on to this. Okay, a lot of people are just now starting to catch on. Past lives has always been a thing in terms of communicating about past lives, but the way this shit is being acted now, a lot of your aspects are starting to wake up. A lot of your aspects are starting to become more active. Like, have you ever been in a situation where a person didn't like you and you didn't do nothing to the person, but they just don't like you, but you don't know why? It's because your aspect, that person's aspect sees your aspect, and that aspect is on one with some shit that happened in the past. So come to find out, y'all got some karmic shit going on that you don't even know nothing about. This person's gripping with you and don't like you because the aspect over here then did some stuff in the past life that they don't know, that the person constantly don't know nothing about. So the aspect's getting on one and going to war against this person because the aspect is getting at the other aspect. Can you imagine? But when I tell you this happens more often than you think, you wouldn't believe some of the things that I've come across with some of the people I've helped, some of the stuff I've seen. It's unbelievable. Okay? And when you start getting into doing meditation and you start going under and you start doing more theta state meditation, this is when you're going to be able to begin to start finding out what's really good. Like I told you guys once before, I don't give a damn about a book. Because if I want to go and look for some stuff or get some information, I'm just going to go to myself and find out what the information is. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. All right? Some people need interpreters. I'm not your interpreter. Okay? I don't do that. Not knocking the folks who do that. I'm just not doing it. Okay? So when you guys get on with me saying, well, I can't find in the book, well, how are you going to find in the book? You tell me where you're going to find out about the stuff I just told you about in a book. You tell me where you're going to find it at. Because as far as I'm concerned, for all the people that are operating in the public, you don't get access to stuff like that. Okay? So what other option do you have to do? Go inward. The problem is people don't want to do the work to go inward. They don't want to be held accountable, and they don't want to deal with the responsibility of themselves, because that means they would have to heal. And a lot of people just aren't ready to do that yet. In other words, what I'm saying to you is, when you begin to start doing your meditations and you begin to start doing your shadow work and you begin to start releasing them bags and all that, the more that you release, the more that you get exposed to of higher realms and higher knowledge. But if you got things that are holding on to you here, you're not going to be able to get there. It's going to be impossible for you to get there. So for those of you that are trying to rush through your shadow work, first of all, let me just say this. Your shadow work will take place for the rest of your life. Let me start there. So don't ever come to me and say to me, oh, I did my shadow work. Okay, and you will continue to do your shadow work. It will continue until you die, unless you just choose not to tap in. But the thing is that once you get tapped in, it's like taking the red pill. You can't go back to sleep. What did they show you in the Matrix? What happened to the guy when he was pulled out of the Matrix? When he was pulled out of the Matrix, he was bored because he was eating bored, dull food, right? He started reminiscing about what his life was like if he was back being under the illusion. So what did he do? He went and made a deal with the Matrix. He went to the Men in Black and he made a deal with them and basically told them, oh, I want to be somebody important. I just want this riches and I want this and I want that and a couple of women and blah, 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 whatever. Okay? But what happened to him in the end? He died. And that's what happens to people when you get a taste of the red pill. You taste the red pill, you don't go back to sleep or you die. Because once you've been exposed, once your consciousness has been exposed, there's no way. It's like eating from the tree of knowledge. Once you get exposed, you can't go back to sleep after that. It's impossible. You've been woken up. It's impossible. You're never going to see things the same way again. You're never going to see people the same way again. You're never going to see the world the same way again. You're never going to see that the same way ever again. So you have no choice other than to accept this new reality, newfound reality that you're in, or you can try to put your ass back to sleep. Let me know how that works out for you if you decide to go back to sleep. There's no going back. That is correct. How can we heal our brain from psychiatric shots? You need to come see me, baby. ShopIsisWisdom.com. Yes, go get that Momentum book by Quinn Barber. It's a shadow work book. It's a dope shadow work book. Yes, I'm definitely tapped in psychically. Okay, question. When you see yourself in a different dimension, living a different life, do you allow it to happen? Do you tap in to work with that dimension? What do? I'm only communicating. I'm not doing all that. I'm tapping into the aspect that might be in that higher dimension, and I'm talking to that aspect. But that aspect is living its own life. I want to be clear about something, and I said this once before. The past, the present, and the future is all going on at the same time. So when you look at Atlantis, this is what you're looking at. The past, the present, and the future. That's what you're looking at. The past, the present, and the future. So if we're in a third density, this is called after the fall. So what we're looking at right now is after we fell, or the fallen state after we fell. So now what happens? The new world's coming in. Now, those new lands are coming in. 14,000 islands have been found in Japan. I want you to be clear about something. This is not a situation where these islands just came up from the water. That's not what happened here. What happened here is that the veil or the dimension opened itself up for us to see because of the frequency that the planet is on. And the higher the frequency that Gaia gets, the more you're going to see. The problem is things are happening so fast that people may not be able to handle. So when we speak about the new earth, what we're talking about here is you guys seeing other realms. You not being blocked off anymore by the firmament. Can you imagine? I can't even begin to imagine seeing all these other realms. So when you see these other planets that are coming very close by, when you see these other quote unquote realms, because that's all they are, they're just realms, you're going to see them. I can't even imagine what it would be like to see them without this firmament in place. But that's what's going to happen. We're going to see them without this firmament in place. I don't even know what that looks like. There was a video that, no, there was a news report from CNN, y'all. Let me tell you how crazy this is. CNN put out a news report. They're really getting stupid with it out here, too, with these damn titles and all this stuff. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. CNN does a report talking about there was a pilot that was flying a plane. He fell asleep. He went into a deep sleep. He's only supposed to take a nap for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. There was another pilot in the plane with him. The dude passes out 75 minutes. When he wakes up, he takes the plane and plunges it into a nosedive because he said that the plane was going to run into Venus. This was reported by CNN. Okay? And I said, so that's what we're doing now? We just gonna say anything? That's what we're doing? We just gonna put stories out about pilots up here running into realms and stuff like that? This is what we're doing? This is what we're doing. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. Okay? It is funny because when I looked at that video, I was like, I'm for sure in the Truman Show. I know I'm in the Truman Show for real now this time. Like I go back and forth with the Truman Show every once in a while. I go back and forth with it. I'd be like, okay, I can handle it. Okay, I'm not in the Truman Show. And then stuff like that happens. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm back in the Truman Show. Yeah, I'm definitely here. I'm definitely here. Okay? So can you imagine falling asleep and waking up and you're seeing, quote unquote, Venus? And you think you're going to run into it, so you take the plane, you put a nosedive in it, and it really did. It was a big plane that they were flying. The people were talking about how they got shaken up and carrying on the plane, but that pilot was serious as a damn heart attack about running into this thing. But I called cap on it. I said, "This is straight cap. This is straight cap. The whole story is cap. Okay, it's all cap." So. Now, you got all these mainstream media articles putting out this thing about, oh yeah, there's a big mothership, and the mothership is going to start sending in probes. First of all, the Anim has been sending in probes on humanity. Let me just start there. But when they said a mothership from space, we believe there's a large mothership from space that's sending in probes into the planet. Lies! Some of this stuff is like super hilarious. So this is that Project Blue Beam that they're preparing everybody for. I want to warn you. The holograms, you will be able to feel them. So some of you, it's going to feel like it's very real because you will be able to feel the holograms. How you're going to be able to tell that it's holograms is based upon your thinking and what you're seeing. So if you got a person sitting in front of you and they believe in white Jesus and they're having a come to Jesus moment, that's what they're going to see. Where you got somebody else over here that may have a coming to Jesus moment, but he ain't going to look nothing like this one over here looks like. That's how you know it is the actual blue beam itself. Okay? And they're doing this fake alien stage invasion to cause more confusion on the people and to try to bring the people under control, except for it's not going to work. The reason why it's not going to work, because as they're doing all these silly things, there are so many people's DEA and DEA and DNA that is activating at the moment. If you have been feeling headaches, if you've been feeling things going on here with your first eye, if you have been feeling sharp pains or different pains going on here, several things are happening to you. One, you are integrating with who you truly are. That's number one. Two, you are receiving updates. Okay? You are receiving updates. Everybody has to receive updates in order for them to be able to adjust to where they're going. Okay? So if you're getting higher, if you're getting in higher consciousness, that means that you have to receive the updates to be able to adjust. Remember what I said. There's going to come a time where you're going to run, as you're continuing to elevate, there's going to come a time where people that know you are going to come up and talk to you, and you're not going to know who these people are. You're not going to remember. It's happened to me several times, and I just don't remember these folks. These folks have pulled out pictures on me and everything. I still don't remember. I still don't remember. I still don't remember talking to them. I've had people that I know from the music business reach out to me from the music business that I do not remember at all. I don't remember it. I don't remember them for nothing. I couldn't. If they were trying their hardest to jog my memory, I just could not remember who they were. And I felt bad for the person because I really just sincerely did not remember them. So as you're continuing to elevate, you are going to fade the black from the individuals who chose not to elevate. Another thing I want to talk about. Those who did what they did back in 2020 and are still doing what they shouldn't have did, and that's in that 2020 still learning in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. That agenda of that, those people have been placed in a whole different timeline. They cannot see anything that you're saying to them. The only thing that they see is a fear that was instilled to them back when all this stuff went down, which caused them to go and do that in the first place. They are in another dimension. So if it seems like when you go to talk to your family members who went and did what they did, and it seems like that when you communicate to them, they give you all this, I don't want to hear it and all that kind of stuff, and don't talk to me about that, they are now considered to be agents. They are agents to consciousness because they've already been shifted out into another timeline, being prepared for that animus. This is what I meant when I said about the Great Divide. The Great Divide is those individuals who went and did that to themselves and have been placed in a different timeline. There are crazy things that are happening with people that I've been talking to. Family members that are trying to take complete control over those who did not make that choice. It's crazy the things that people are coming and telling me, the things that they're experiencing from their own family members because they chose not to go down that road right now. Even though they didn't stop everything, even though they stopped all the mandates and all that, it is the family members now that are in that other timeline that are pushing that agenda. And they are being controlled by the animus. They are being controlled by the animus in those grays. That's who they're being controlled by now. Those particular individuals have infestations of grays and draconians and AI in their homes, even as we speak right now. They also have infestations of demons in their home and don't even realize that's what's going on. It's funny. People don't realize this until I go and clean them off. And then they actually feel the stuff being removed off of them and they was tripping like, oh my God. I said, you wasn't present with your energy. Because had you would have been present with your energy, you would have known something was different about you. Okay? That is correct. The nanos is in fact running through, especially for those who went and took those tests. At Tequila Chantelli, go to shoplicenswisdom.com and put in a request for clearance. If you get cleared, you will purchase the cosmic reading, and I will tell you exactly who you are. There's a lot of people that are dying on a massive scale right now, and they're trying their damnedest best to try to distract us from this. This is taking us back to the 80s. You remember when everybody was dying of the AIDS virus? You remember that? Everybody was dying. All of my for those of you that were born back in the 80s and early 90s, y'all remember all the people that died? They did a quilt. Remember that? And people were dying all over the world. Remember that? This is that all over again. This is that all over again. I had a brother tell me today he lost 6 family members back to back. There are people that I have been talking to that lost several family members. I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 family members at a time that are dying within days or weeks of each other, or even months, sometimes minutes, that are dying. There are cemeteries, when you ride past the cemeteries, I see more burials more now than ever at the cemeteries. You might ride past the cemetery and see like 100 fresh burials. back to back to back to back to back. You remember when you would see maybe 3 or 4 at a time? Now it'd be like 100, 200, 300 at a time in the cemeteries if they're not getting cremated. You're welcome, Kendall. Thank you very much for letting me know. I appreciate you. What do you know about the alien statues outside an orphanage in Guadalajara? Those beings came up on a meditation I had while visiting Guadalajara. I have not been to Guadalajara as of yet. That's one city I need to go to. It's crazy how I haven't been there, but I haven't been there yet. I'm gonna have to go pull up Guadalajara and see if I can find these pictures. But I want to say this one thing too. From this day forward, we have got to get out of the mentality of ooh and ah and other ET races when you're a damn ET your damn self. Look in the mirror, fam. And I already told you what Father told me. He said, we are the most powerful ET race to ever exist. So this whole oohing and I-ing and E and I and all that, stop that. You just don't know what your full potential is. That's all it is. You just don't know what your full potential is and what you're capable of doing because of indoctrination. So based on the things I just revealed to y'all today just about Atlantis, you understand how much deprogramming is going to have to take place? You're talking about centuries and years of deprogramming right now, even as we speak. We have to deprogram, and our offspring has to deprogram their way of thinking to understand the reality that we're actually living in. So from here on out, and let me be clear, the reason why they called it Earth is because the Nernians wanted to call it something that reminded them of their own home. This is the reason why they do so much terraforming, because if you go to planet Nerm, it's a terraformed planet that was created by Satan. It is a planet of experimentation that was created by Satan. Satan did not want to do the good thing anymore. He did it for so many eons and eons and eons. He got tired of it. And he chose to go a different direction. He wanted to be a God, and he wasn't assigned the role of God. So let me explain to you how this works. And I want you guys to be clear about something. These beings were assigned a role, and they still have to do their role. They still have to do their role. So if you was given a role to assist humanity and you decided to go malevolent, you're still in your role and you're still going to be assisting humanity. But let me tell you how that's going to go. Okay, well, now we need you to go and test humanity now. What's your malevolent self? Now you're going to play a malevolent role now. But either way you look at it, you're still going to do what I told you to do. That's mother and father. So you don't get out of your role just because you went a different direction. You still have to do your role, whatever it was given. You have the choice of free will to go malevolent if you want to, but you're still going to do your role. That ain't never going to change. Let me give you a different perspective here so that way I can help you take the fear out of these things when you deal with these energies. First of all, dark energy is not an energy that anyone should be afraid of. That's first and foremost, considering that we came from the darkness. Dark energy is not something you should be afraid of. Dark energy is pure power. Now, how you choose to use that power is something completely different. You could be malevolent and still use light energy. So the indoctrination of thinking the light. Okay, well, you tell somebody like a Lucifer that, and she comes to you because she can shapeshift, and she comes to you looking like an angel of light. You're going to believe that and everything that she says, but she's using her light to deceive you. Any one of these malevolent angels have the ability to shapeshift and look exactly how you want them to look and talk to you and say all the things that you want to hear. They can use their light to deceive you. The key thing here is balance. So don't ever be afraid of the darkness. Never. That energy exists because Source created the duality or the polarity. So everybody has a role to play. Satan has his role to play, and his minions have a role to play. All the malevolent beings that you know they exist, they all have a role to play in the actual polarity. But if you're really taking a step back and you begin to start looking at this from a different perspective, you will begin to realize that what these entities do is they capitalize off of your unhealed state. And they show you how to make your shadow leave. What they do is they come and they bring your shadow side out. And they show just how unhealed you really are. So think about it like this. Let's say you are friends with someone and you're really cool with them. And let's say you're being deceived and you didn't realize you were being deceived by a third party. The person that you've been chilling with has been the same person they've always been. However, you never took the time out to do your own shadow work and you're in an unhealed state. That third party intervener could be any one of those malevolent angels that can come in and create drama for you and you don't even realize that's what's happening. Because number one, you're not self-aware of your own energy, someone that you trust on a spiritual level. And that thing starts telling you things that about the person that you cool with. Next thing you know, because you're in your unhealed state, you're into the shit. You're not even self-aware that this being, whole soul and purpose, is to show you you're not the person that you say that you are. It's to show you that you are in an unhealed state. It's to show you that you never dealt with your shadow side. That's the whole point to why these beings even exist. So, you know how I beat these negative forces? Very simple. When I catch on what's happening, you know what I say to them? Thank you. Thank you for showing me the unhealed sides to myself. Okay? Thank you for showing the unhealed sides to myself. Thank you for that. Now you show me what I need to go work on. And my willpower is stronger than your manipulation. I see you. When I was going through the different stages of healings that I was going through, I had to come to a place of acceptance of my shadow. I had to accept my shadow side. So when my shadow would come in and start talking all crazy, I would say to my shadow, I accept these feelings. You know what happened? She stopped. She stopped. So anytime that you get negative thoughts and negative feelings, 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you it's your shadow side. And you're not paying any attention to the shadow. And you're not healing your shadow. So malevolent forces, all they do is not, see, this is what they did with religion. They put fear in you so that way you would be under the control by telling you that if you don't follow these rules right here, when you die, you're going to go straight to hell. So you never even got a chance to see the perception or have a different perception about what was happening. When really what this is these beings exist to do one or two things. To teach me or to bring my shadow side out. And if they bring my shadow side out, then they're going to take me over to the other side. Because I allowed it to happen, because I didn't allow my actual inner strength to come to the forefront and say, I see the manipulation. I'm not going to be guided by anything outside of me in that way. So think about all the people y'all been cool with. Think about how you looked out for these individuals and how they turned around and shitted on you and turned around and stabbed you in the back because they're unhealed. And all that third-party intervener did was show you. Oh, yeah? Oh, you healed, fam? Let me show you that you're not healed. And they're notorious for that. They're notorious for showing you where you are and showing you the people that you have in your life where they are. So anytime that a person comes out on you, it's just a projection. When you begin to understand the projections, You don't respond to it the same way. This is the reason why when you saw me come out, I had to address a certain individual a couple lives ago. But when I addressed them from a place of love. Because that's how I'm vibrating. I'm vibrating on the frequency of love. They could have came out and said something negative all they want to. It would have never had any effect on me because I knew the place I was coming from was from love. And what it did was it showed me the healed state that I'm in. So when you guys say, I can't do it, it's because you're unhealed. Of course you can't do that. I can't forgive. Of course you can't do that. You're not healed from what happened to you. Do you guys have any idea? In Quinn Barber's book, it took me a year to get out of the stage of anger. I couldn't get no place else. I literally would pick that book up, do the work, sit down, process it, put the book down, cuss the damn book out, cussing everybody out, come back to it later, come back and look at it again, work on it again. Okay, I got a little bit further, then turn around, cuss the damn book out again, because I don't want to hear that shit, because I don't want to forgive no. I don't want to forgive nobody. I want to stay in my shit. I want to stay in it. Sometimes when people hurt you, it takes a time to get over that anger. It takes time to come to a place of forgiveness, and that's okay too. You got to give yourself the necessary time it takes for you to heal. It took me 1 year. It took me 1 year to get out of that stage of anger towards people that hurt me back in 2021. I wanted to hurt them so deeply. Okay? I wanted to run them over with a fucking car. I wanted to beat them down with a baseball bat. If I had a gun, I probably would have shot them. I'm not bullshitting you. That's how angry I was. I was that angry. And I was carrying that anger around for a long time. Because I was attacked by people when I was grieving after my brother's death. That's when it hit me. And I was angry at those people for a long time behind that. And I couldn't properly grieve over his death. It wasn't until I made the decision a year later on the anniversary of his death to let it go. Now, I'm being transparent with you guys. Why? Because I want you guys to understand. I understand your feelings and I understand your emotions. I understand you've been through some things. And what I'm doing is I'm validating your feelings. Don't ever let nobody invalidate how you feel. I am validating everyone's feelings on this live right now. Let's get these likes up. Let's get these likes up. Because I want you to understand that it's okay for you to feel how you feel. It's okay for you to be angry. It's okay that you want to tear somebody's ass up. It's okay because you were highly offended and disrespected. It's okay for you to feel that way. Your feelings are validated when somebody hurts you or offends you. Never forget that. However, as I've also learned in this journey, when I made a conscious decision to let that go and let them go, that's when real healing began for me, when I got past that situation. And I was able to grieve, finally, my brother the way that I was supposed to grieve. We all hurt out here. I just want you to remember to validate your own feelings. Don't deny how you feel when you feel a certain type of way. That's part of your healing process and that's part of your growth. Learn how to be vulnerable to people. I'm being vulnerable to y'all right now by sharing this information with you because I've gotten past it already. I use myself as a living example for a lot of people on social media because I hope to inspire y'all to do better for yourselves. I show the humanistic side of who I am. I show the flawed side of who I am. People pass judgment on people all day, every day. The funny thing is that those people that are doing that are also in an unhealed state. I can't take nothing them people are saying to me seriously. Because if I ain't got nothing in common with you, we really ain't got no beef. If you mad because of the things I'm saying, that's your problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You need to go fix yourself. When people go out of their way on my YouTube channel to try to get at me and stuff like that, I don't pay that shit no mind. Because I understand that's what? Projections of their unhealed state. So when you see people talking crazy and being nasty and all that, they're just showing themselves in their unhealed state. You can't take that personal. You can't take that personal. You just have to have an understanding about where you are. And as long as you know where you are, it doesn't matter what the outside world has to say. You got to learn how to be comfortable in being who you are. Flaws and all. And if anybody's going to rock with you, they're going to rock with your authentic self. Not some projection that you're trying to be to please somebody else. You don't wear masks to please other people. I don't give a damn about that. I think that's why I have so many haters. Because I don't give a shit. I just don't. Why? Because I healed a lot and I'm continuing to heal, but I'm comfortable with being in my authentic state. And I'm okay being in that space. Them not liking me, them coming at me, don't have nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. Graduate to that space. Well, I don't know, baby. I don't know. Someone asked me, she said, what about the people who are joining the military after they discontinued the obligation to get the thing? What do you want? How do you want me to answer that? What about them? I mean, either way you look at it, in my mind, the way I process that, should nobody be joining in anybody else's war and being a casual for some country that doesn't give a shit about its people. It really doesn't even make any sense when you really think about it. Does it make sense to put your life on the line with a country that's despised you all your life? Does it make sense to put your life on the line with people that have done everything in their power to try to enslave you, dog you out? I'm talking about all humanity. I'm not just even talking about us. I'm talking about all of humanity at this point. Look what happened to their veterans. Look at how they treat their veterans after they went out there and went to war for these people. Look at how they treat their veterans. Are you not learning by example? Do you not think these things can't happen to you? Do you want to be a living experiment? Because all they're going to do is experiment on your ass and put shots up in you and all types of shit, doing all types of experiments on you. You don't know what they're putting in you. What if they expose you to radiation? How are you supposed to recover from that? Does it make sense to join a war machine that has no regard for its people? Then why the hell would you ask me a question like that? What happens with those people? They get disposed of. That's what happens to them. And that's what I mean when I say that the people are not even using any common sense. They're operating off of autopilot. They're not paying attention to the things that are going on around them. They're not present. Just that alone of me seeing how they take care of the military already tells me off the rip, yeah, that's definitely not a place I want to be a part of. That's not something I want to be a part of at all. So some things are just common sense. You don't even need critical thinking for that. Some things are just common sense. But what I'm realizing is that common sense ain't so common. How you gonna go die for? I'm gonna lay my life on the line, but you hate me. But I'm gonna go out here and lay my life on the line. What? That's how insane people are. People are insane because they're not thinking about it from that perspective. And I would encourage anybody that's listening to this live right now that is thinking about going into the military. I'm not going to tell you what to do or anything like that. What I will tell you to do is at least take some time out to observe your surroundings and ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing and what are you doing it for? What's the purpose of you doing what you're doing? Really take some time to think about that. I did an exercise with my peoples on Telegram last week. You know what that exercise was? I asked them, who are they? They tried to answer the question. They were dancing around the question. They couldn't really answer the question. Some people could, but a lot of them could not answer the question appropriately. So I told them, I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your time. I want you to write out who you are. It's a question that people never think about. The question is, why don't you think about it? Do that exercise and read it back out loud to yourself. Take some time. Don't give yourself quick answers. Just take some time and ask yourself that question. Who am I? Who am I? And if you can't answer that question, therein lies the problem. And also should give you some insight about how we got into the conditions that we're in now, because most people don't know who they are. Okay, guys, let's get those likes up. I do nanoparticle removal, baby. That's not something you can just tell. You got to have training in that. I can't just tell somebody how to do that. They just got to get with someone that knows how to do that type of work. I'm sorry about that's because I forgot to put the number 2 on there and I put the word 2. I wasn't paying attention. My bad. You got to put the number 2 on for the Telegram, baby. You must know the truth. Okay. Okay, someone's saying treasure empress dreams. She said, I got the walkie, the Jabberwocky, the first thing. How can I tell I'm on another timeline? I feel like I've had an ascension in my spiritual gifts heightened these past couple of years. Let me explain something to you. How do you know you didn't get a placebo? How do you know you didn't get a placebo? A lot of people got those first as the first one, and then they got the other one, which was the real deal, on the second one. So you said you only did the first one, you probably got a placebo. Can I touch back on Atlantis? Well, there's more information that's coming to me about that. You're going to have to give me some time. You're going to have to give me some time to put it all together, because this is still a process for me in terms of how I've been looking at things from this perspective. It's a process. So I'm going to continue to keep gathering the information. And like I said, the next time I come back to talk about Atlantis, it's going to be like a 2-hour live, because I am getting a lot of information. And I'm not only going to talk about Atlantis, but I'm also going to talk about everything else, all the other realms, who the beings are, what the realms are called, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I will communicate with you guys, and I will make you guys aware of this. You're welcome, Treasure Empress. Okay, there are people asking about what the shadow work book name is. It's called Momentum by Quinn Barber. Okay, Osset Banks. You said for every element, there's a cure on this earth. Child, this ain't earth. This is Atlantis. Call it what it is. Call it what it is, y'all. It's going to take me a second, too, because of the programming. But call it what it is. It's Atlantis. Call it what it is. Get comfortable. I live on the realm of Atlantis. Repeat after me. Say, I live on the realm of Atlantis. And I'm in the third density of Atlantis. Say it out loud and speak it to yourself, because as you begin to start doing this, I'm going to tell you something I've noticed since I began to start doing it. I definitely have been feeling different and beginning some other kind of downloads, and some energy's been hitting me differently since I've been actually acknowledging it. I live on the realm of Atlantis, and I'm in the third density, elevating to the fourth and the fifth and the sixth. Get used to saying it because you've been programmed to tell yourself lies. Program yourself now to tell yourself the truth. You see? They still saying Earth. I'm not going to respond to you. Say it right. From here on out, if you ain't calling it what it's called, I'm not going to respond to you. Kukulkan Pyramid in Mexico is also known as the Egyptian god Thoth. Well, I will even do you one up even more than that. The Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico City, called the Teotihuacan Pyramid, is dedicated to Tahuti. There you go. Embrace the journey 333. I live in the realm of Atlantis. I said the realm of Atlantis. Young Money. Did you not hear what I said? Kai is the name of the dome system that encases all 9 realms, and there's 33 dimensions in each realm. Kai is the dome system. That's what I learned from source. Okay? It is a dome system. I mean, if you want to call it Planet Kai, I guess you could call it that. But as I said before, there are realms that we're seeing now. We're seeing realms. We're not seeing what we perceive to be a planet. That's indoctrination. That's lies. That's deception. So you got to start. This is why I said it's going to be hard for a lot of us to come up out of that indoctrination. It's going to be hard as hell. You just got to repeat yourself over and over and over again until you get used to saying it. Pangea is about to return too, by the way, guys. I was shown that the lands are going to reconnect themselves back as one. That's going to take a period of time to happen, but I just want to make you guys aware. It'll be probably several lifetimes before you actually see that, but I just want to make you guys aware. It's okay, Young Money. It's okay, baby. I've never experienced vertigo, and I've never experienced muscle spasms. Sorry. Now, here we go. Here we go, y'all. Look at this. Tashin Goddess. Atlantis is the old world of America, which is Egypt. We have a lot of pyramids in Africa. Atlantis is the realm that you live on, period. That's what this whole live was about, and this was already explained if you came in late. Atlantis is the realm that you live in. And Atlantis has 33 dimensions. You are living in the 3rd dimension of Atlantis, which is the reason why there's so much water on this realm. It's time for y'all to wake up. At Chong Family Vlog, I got to get more information first. All right, guys. I just want to come in and drop that science real quick. I appreciate you guys for coming on board and listening to what I have to say. I'm done. Okay, I just had to get that up off of me. I want you to start looking out for my live called The Animus that's coming. I got a trailer I'm getting ready to drop. I should upload that probably Friday. I'm going to upload the trailer, the 2nd trailer. I'm going to upload it. And then right after that, I'm coming to do the live on The Animus. So look forward to doing that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming on board and listening to what I have to say. I don't know why I'm so busy on this YouTube dropping knowledge and bombs, but I got a lot of shit to say. So I'll holler back. Peace.